here with you today. I would say, wow, a lot of familiar faces. Hello. And as you noted, Bill LaPlante, my counterpart here, he gets all the headaches. I want to let you know I get all the fun. Okay. Totally fair. So, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to share with you what we're doing to maintain technological edge over any potential competitor now and into the future. So we have a unique responsibility within R&E. Today, the U.S. forces enjoy the technological edge. However, if you look at what the pace of technology is evolving and the availability of commercial products, we may not always have this enduring advantage if we don't focus on this. Okay. So we approach this task with a sense of urgency, knowing that PRC is rapidly modernizing its forces. They have the economic strength, the technical strength, and the will to challenge us. Okay. Our strategy is built upon 3 pillars, and I'll outline them and illustrate some of the examples at the tail end. First of all, when I first came into the building, it was very clear that we need to focus on the joint fight. This was a discussion with the DepSecDev as well as with the vice chairman. We fund by service, however, we fight jointly. Therefore, there are joint warfighting challenges we have to address. Therefore, if you look at what was born, it's a Rapid Defense Experimentation Reserve, okay? What we typically call radar activities. That was born due to the fact that we realized we have to focus on the joint warfighting challenges. So we work very closely with the joint staff to understand what are the critical requirements, critical capabilities they're looking for in a highly contested war. Then what we ended up doing was taking those capabilities they desire, work with the services to figure out, are there prototypes that they know of, that industry is working on as well as themselves, that could close these capabilities, okay, in terms of providing something in the relatively near term. So we've gone through multiple iterations. What we've done, like as I mentioned before, in the very first sprint, is focus on a particular island, which I'll let you guess which island that would be, okay? We received more than 200 white papers, right? So we're able to rack and stack the top projects we would like to fund first in the first sprint. And by the way, the first sprint, last year we spent a lot of time planning out the details of the exercise, and this year we finally got the money, we're going to be off and running, literally demonstrating these prototypes at a contested environment. So it's, can't work just in a lab, it's got to work in a real environment. And that's exactly what we're focusing on, okay? If you look at the scenario, we're basing it upon 6-month sprints. Every 6 months we're doing a sprint. So we've already, in the planning purpose, gone through 3 sprints already, okay? And not surprisingly, we're focusing on things like resilient communications, joint command and control. We're looking at ability to have any sensor trigger any shooter, okay? And looking at the scenario of a highly contested logistics fight. Namely, when you're in highly contested fight, can you get fuel, ammunition in, right? That would be an issue, okay? We're collaborating also very closely with allies and partners on all of this. On the very first sprint, we actually have projects that's joint with UK, another project that's joint with Australia. So we're pulling our allies and partners into the radar experimentation as well. The other thing that we're doing is very much focused on building physics-based modeling and simulation capability to make sure it can inform us of our options. So we did that. We tapped into the detailed physics-based modeling and simulation to let us know in a nuclear command, control, and communication environment, what are our options? I wanted to know which option, which technical option gave me the best bang for the buck, right? So literally a detailed modeling and simulation was conducted that went through all of this to come down with the solution space. So that was really wonderful to see. So from the physics-based modeling and simulation, we're also tying that into a highly accurate campaign level live virtual constructive modeling and simulation. This is a massive campaign level modeling simulation. Literally half the room you play red, the other half the room you can play blue. Let the war begin. Okay, 8 a.m. every morning, war begins. Have your coffee ready, right? But I can tell you with the beauty of that, having physics-based model in there tying into, you have accurate representation of your system. We have the most up-to-date representation of the threats. So literally we can do an actual match of the war, okay? And the operators are learning. So we did a very effective test in January, a week-long test, and we learned from it. Here are the things we need to do differently if we're going to conduct this fight. So it's very educational, and we are continuing to add new capabilities in there. Okay. The second thing that we're focusing on is making sure that we can deliver capability at speed and scale. You know, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good if I can only give you one, right? So every time I talk to Admiral Aquilino, it's like, okay, I needed this yesterday, right? Let's hurry up and deliver at speed and scale, okay? So what we're doing is we've demonstrated a lot of capabilities, and we're transitioning capabilities. You know, for example, DARPA has a Stitches program that literally enables software to generate interoperability code so you can connect disparate platforms to be able to communicate with each other. Because our platform typically are generated from services requirement, one program at a time, right? It's not a holistic system-to-system perspective. So ability to stitch things together rapidly is incredibly useful. We did a Purple Guardian exercise last summer. Literally, we were able to demonstrate machine-to-machine communication to be able to stitch together 4 different counter-UAS systems. One was Air Force, one was Navy, one was Marine, one was Army. Okay, but we developed a stitch everything together, had a common command and control. We're able to detect and shoot down UASs. Right. Very effective, and that's part of the joint command and control that we're focused on. Okay. I can tell you other things that we're looking at is rapidly transitioning commercial capabilities. This is where certainly DIU helped us a whole lot by identifying US-made UASs, right? So this way we look for the US production companies. The Army looked at small UASs and competed 5 different players in this field and down select to Skydio. So Skydio is ramped up into production now, so this is really exciting, right? Andro counter UAS, they've been down selected. Another one was a non-traditional players that's getting into production. Okay, Skylight is another non-traditional company that proved that they could detect dark vessels, namely the vessel that's on the ocean that's not transmitting. Well, you know, you got something going on there, right? That software has transition over to the Coast Guard. So those are the commercial, very successful commercial transitions that we have done. That's just a small snapshot of what we've been doing, okay? I will tell you I have quarterly engagements with FFRDC CEOs and the directors of all the UARCs. This is, let me spell out the acronyms. I just realized not everybody may know all the acronyms. Federally funded research and development centers and university affiliated research centers, okay? They are an absolute extension of my technical arm. And I leverage their capability and tap them and pull them in to solve some tough technical challenges, okay? So they're working very closely with me. I want to thank my partner here in MITRE. Fantastic job, always great to see you, Kyoki, okay? The other thing that we're doing is creating co-development projects, as I mentioned, with our allies and partners, okay? We work closely with Norway, developed a low-cost ramjet, hypersonic ramjet. Okay, so this is something that will be transitioning to the Navy. Okay, we work very closely with Australians to develop a hypersonic cruise missile. It's a prototype, mitigated the risk. That technology has transitioned to the Air Force and helped them on the hypersonic air launch cruise missile program. Literally talking to the program manager, they say, thank you guys for initiating that. It reduced our risk because of the prototype capabilities. Okay, we're doing joint missile defense with Japan. Okay, we have very strong bilats with Australia, with UK, in addition to AUKUS. Okay, with South Korea, with India, with Japan, with Singapore, with Israel, with Netherlands, Italy, Canada, Germany, and a lot more. Literally, a big chunk of my time is focused on international engagements, where we can help each other to make our systems, we can either co-develop capability to accelerate delivery of systems, okay? We are leveraging the National Security Innovation Network, what we call NSIN, to establish regional centers so I can collaborate across innovation centers. We have an entire ecosystem innovation center within the US, right? We have DIU being innovation center. We have AFWorks, we have Naval X, we have SoftWorks, we have Army, RCCTO, SpaceWorks, a lot of innovation centers. So NSIN is focusing on establishing regional hubs. So literally, these innovation centers can collaborate and help each other to look for small companies with innovative ideas to help us solve problems. Okay, one of the big things I hear about is bridging the valley of death, okay, for small companies. So there's a couple things that we're doing. Last year we got $100 million of what I call it AppFit funding. That stands for Accelerate Procurement and Fielding of Innovative Technologies. So I was able to fund 10 companies, just $10 million each. But for a small company, a $10 million goes quite a long ways, not for a big prime, right? But small company goes a long way. I'm accelerating delivery of things like drop glide munitions. Okay, we are delivering underwater sensors to detect mines. Okay, anti-jam conformal arrays that goes outside of F-18 to provide resilient satellite communication. Okay. We're delivering virtual reality training kits for the special ops guys. And another small company came out with the idea of night vision goggle that double the field of view, higher resolution, and lighter weight, all at the same time. So special ops community immediately said, I need right now. And they don't want to wait 2 years. because that's how long it's going to take you to get into the palm, right? So small company, hurry up and wait. So this is the valley of death that we're helping to pave over. The positive thing is this year we'll get 150 million, even though, so we're helping. We'll be able to help more companies this way. And we're in the process of going through the review. By the April timeframe, I will get a briefing as to here's the number of companies that's provided proposals, and this is how we are funneling down into the ones that we want to select, have it the most impact for the services. The other things that we're doing is we established the Office of Strategic Capital, and this was stood up by SecDef in December. So we're just running for 3 months now. We're still rapidly trying to hire more people. But the intent there was several companies came and visited me last year to talk about the problem that they have. They've developed critical capability. They're not being funded by private equity because they're a component supplier, okay? And a lot of private equity don't provide equity to component suppliers. So they're saying that we need to ramp up. Our component is state of the art. It is in all these systems, but they need to ramp up into production. So they need $8 million, which of course I don't have to give them, right? So the whole idea is trying to figure out how can I provide capital to help these small companies to build the capital ability to ramp up into production. Okay, so that's the purpose of setting up an Office of Strategic Capital. We're working very closely with SBA, with SBIC, Import-Export Bank, all of the above, to take the lessons learned from the other departments who have the authority to do that we don't have. Department of Energy, one perfect example is they helped Tesla to stand up production. They gave Tesla a guarantee loan for $485 million, and that was paid back in 3 years. So this is how we can help our industry, build our industry by doing things like this. So this is what we're trying to do in Office of Strategic Capital, okay? And in terms of accelerating transitions, this is where I have to work very closely with my partner, Bill LaPlante, right? He's already defined multiple pathways. As a part of the radar activity, what we want to do is be able to say, out of the prototypes we've tested, if it's effective, it's the joint staff, the co-comps, and the services say, this performed great. Let's get into rapid fielding, okay? And ANS has already defined multiple different pathways that can help pull products through much quicker, okay? So the third thing, of course, what we're doing is making sure that we have enduring advantage for the future, not just the near term. Certainly you guys all heard about the Microelectronics Common. We've got $2 billion over 5 years, and we are establishing regional laboratory to a fab capability to literally to help the innovators, the university, the small company who have creative ideas to be able to test out their idea in a foundry that they would not have access to otherwise, okay? I can tell you we have received just last week over 80 proposals. Like, wham! Everybody's interested. So the team is very busy now trying to review through all the proposals. Okay, so this is actually very exciting for us. In terms of S&T, there's a lot of capabilities we are developing. If you think about space-based adaptive communication node, we're developing ability to create reconfigurable optical communication terminals. So namely, if you have different laser communications, you now can translate between different laser comms, and that's going to be really important to have. We are developing extremely stable atomic clocks. We have developed biocement, namely that was demonstrated in Guam over a year ago. They went to Guam, spent 48 hours, and I took biology, sand, and water, and developed helicopter landing pad in 48 hours. So now what we're doing, if you think about contested logistics, this is exactly the kind of stuff we need to do, right? We're now testing out the same methodology to test out for C-130 runway. Okay, so those are just a few examples of the stuff that we're doing in really important S&T work. The other thing that we're doing, of course, is scholarship. We need to build our pipeline. We provided 482 smart scholars, so it's a fee for service. We provide for your 4 years of undergraduate or 3-4 years of your master's and PhD program. You return to service after you graduate. Okay, the fee for service is a great mechanism that we have.